Yes, good morning, people. I hope you're all doing well. Big up to every single one of you for being here nice and early. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone listening around the world. The Transfer Morning Show is back this morning because it's a new week. There's not long left of the window. But if you're Arsenal, it's just called January. Nothing changes, really. Another season and another year goes on. Big up to everybody that's nice and early in the chat. I want you to all do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're absolutely flying at the moment. We're on the way to 40k already, which is absolutely insane. You guys are mad. So please do me a favor and hit that subscribe and like button, which will do me a big, big favor. Big up to everybody that's here live in the chat. Big up to all of you that are actually typing in the chat. Big up to Linny. Big up to Vinny. Oh, that rhymes. Ben. We've got Alex. We've got Afsar. We've got Lumen in the house. We've got Michael. We've got Matt. I take all the W's. I wish Arsenal did. Big up to you. Andrew, J to the B, Noel. Who else have we got? Richie, Andy, DR, Sal, Andrew, and Rashid, and everyone else that's here joining us this morning, and everyone else listening on catch up. Listen, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. We got all things Arsenal, we got all things transfers, we got all things January transfer window rumors that we're going to go through with all clubs, including Arsenal this morning. But you know what? The Arsenal section is getting quicker and quicker and smaller at the moment. Why aren't we signing anyone? It is the 20th of January, from what I believe. Let me just check. Let me just check the date, just to make sure. Wow. It is the 20th of January, and Arsenal aren't bothered. Let's just be real. It's the 20th of January, and Arsenal don't seem interested in signing anybody. Why? Why are Arsenal not interested in getting something done? And there's a lot of people that will be screaming at this going, you don't know that, mate. You don't know that. I don't care anymore. It's the 20th of January, and because it's taken the best part of 3 weeks now to do anything, we've seen us drop more points in the league, go out of the FA Cup, and lose the first leg badly of the Carabao Cup. So that could mean that there's 3 more potential trophies that we've put in the bin there because we haven't strengthened in the summer or the January transfer window enough. And that's not good enough for me. It's an absolute disgrace. The board and the owners should be absolutely disgusted with himself. Mikel Arteta, I'm not putting him in the bracket of holding an L, but he's definitely a part of the reason as to why we're not selecting targets, because from what we understand, he's got a massive say in who comes. Why does he not just walk up to the Cronkies and say, yep, I know you've just lost the Rams last night. Sorry, I know you're crying into your beer about it, but we ain't got a team over here now. We're down to bare bones, so could you come and help me? No, we're just sat there on the 20th of January with nobody in. Another player's gone down now, Saliba, on top of Ben White and Tomiyasu, who are already injured, on top of the fact that we've got in the right wing position, no Saka, no Jesus, no Wanieri. We've only got one striker at the club, and that's Havertz, and it's quite, some people say, disrespectful to call him a striker. That's where we're at, though. That is where we're at. It's a shambles. It ain't going well. That's all I will say. Look, there's nearly 200 of you in here, and we haven't got anywhere near enough likes at the moment. Let's get that up to 100 likes for the time being, and let's, by the end of the show, get that up to 4 to 500 likes. Let's get in between that, people. Come on, I've got faith in you. Hit the like and the subscribe button. 2 buttons that are free. All you got to do is press the cross, come out of the live chat, hit like and subscribe, and then come back into the chat. It takes 2 seconds, people. Come on. Big up to you guys. Look, before we do go into it any further, let's bring up our event. I don't know how many of you are coming along, but it would be great to see as many of you there as possible. This Friday, the 24th of January, we are going to be at the Hippodrome. Make sure you scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner here, and you can go straight to the link. Or if you want to click on the link in the description, then please make sure that you do that. All you've got to do is click the link and it will take you straight there. We've got D, we've got Lawless, you've got me, you've got Judges, you've got Deji, and you've got Greasy Don that are all going to be live at the panel debate that we're going to have on Friday night at the Hippodrome Casino. So please make sure that you do get your tickets, people. Click on the link in the description, and I'll pin it into the comment section after this as well, so you can click on that very comfortably and easily, and it will take you straight there. So hopefully we'll get you all signed up, and we'll see you all There'll be a meet and a greet. There'll be panelists. There'll be a Q&A section. There'll be gifts to give away, prizes to give away. So yeah, hopefully we'll see. Okay, let's get into it. Douglas Luiz. So apparently, Manchester City are considering Douglas Luiz. They're considering a loan move for the Brazilian midfielder. He's only 26 years old. Though his current club Juventus are pressing for an obligation to buy to be included in the proposed deal. That's come from the Athletic. Now, I think this would be a great signing for Manchester City. I don't actually know why Arsenal are in for this one, because for me, I look at what Douglas Luiz can bring, and I think he's perfect for the 6 and the 8. I know Zubamendi's being linked in the summer, but if we was to bring in Douglas Luiz and Zubamendi, you would have your Zubamendi and Rice in your 6, and then you'd have Douglas Luiz and Marino in the 8. That is what I believe we should be going for. But Manchester City are favourites. Now, they want a loan. I don't know why they don't just buy him, because he's only 26. He's Premier League proven. He started off at Manchester City, if you remember, as a youngster. And Juventus have said that he can go. So this is an easy transfer. Now, if Manchester City were to get Vitor Reis, were to get Kuzanov, were to get Marmoush and Douglas Luiz, that's 4 signings off the back of a 6-0 victory at Ipswich when Kevin De Bruyne looks on fire, Foden's back firing, Haaland's back scoring. Manchester City could have a great end to the season. And that doesn't mean they're going to finish above Arsenal. Maybe they will. If I'm honest with you, if Arsenal don't win the league, I could give a damn where we come, if I'm honest with you. I'm so done with trying to finish in top 4s and all this crap. But if they were to go on a run and finish above Arsenal, they get a good chance of winning the Champions League as well. Look, they're still in the FA Cup. Manchester City, with the right signings, they've got the best manager in the world. They could still have a good season. Could you imagine if they was to go and win a Champions League and an FA Cup? Could you imagine if they was to win one bit of silverware? People have already said to me that there's an actual chance that Man City could win the FA Cup, that Spurs could win the Carabao Cup, that Manchester United could win the Europa League, that Chelsea could win the Conference League, and Liverpool could win the league. And out of the top 6, it would be Arsenal that won't win silverware again. That would be disgraceful. That would be like worst case scenario, wouldn't it? Everybody wins something other than Arsenal. I just, honestly, some of these people that put these thoughts in my head, I wish I could just yell at them, "You're negative, shut up." But they're absolutely bang on. Because actually, that's not a million miles away from happening, in my opinion. Liverpool are the favourites for the league. Chelsea are the favourites for the Conference League. Manchester City and Liverpool both favourites for the FA Cup, I would suggest. The Europa League, I know Man United are a shambles, but so is everyone in that competition. So, look, it could happen, but let's be real. Tottenham are allergic to trophies and Man United are a shambles. So hopefully that's not what it is. Yeah, I keep getting this as well. We go again next season. Hang on a minute. There's so much more to play for in the Premier League and the Champions League, but people have already given up because they know how we're playing. Anyway, that's back to Arsenal. But Douglas Luiz linked with a move to Manchester City. I think this would be a phenomenal signing. I really do, especially if they get him on loan with an obligation to buy. I think Arsenal should be all over that. But they're not looking at midfielders because we need a forward, but we also need a midfielder as well. Let's talk about Vinny Jr. because I don't think he's going anywhere, but there are rumours that there are clubs in Saudi Arabia that are interested in bringing Vinny to the country, with the league's chief executive saying that a move is a matter of time. Now, I think that matter of time is probably going to be in a few years because he's only 24 years old, and I really don't see why Vinny Jr. at 24 would want to go over to Saudi Arabia other than to make himself very, very rich, which he can do anyway at the age of 34, let alone 24. So he's at the best club in the world, the biggest club in the world. I think they've got a great chance of winning silverware again this season. And Vinny Jr., for me, is the best player in the world. People talk about Mbappe and people talk about Haaland and Lamine Yamal and all these guys. I think for me, he is the best in the world. I look at him and I've always rated him over Mbappe. I've always thought he's better than Mbappe. And for me, best player in the world. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's happy at Madrid. I don't know why he would go to Saudi Arabia now. Talking to Saudi Arabia, the 32-year-old Neymar is being linked with a move back to Santos, who apparently in talks to bring the Brazilian forward Neymar back to the club. He'll be allowed to leave Saudi Arabia, Al Hilal, immediately, according to Sky Sports in Germany. Now, what does this mean for not just Neymar, but for Mo Salah? Because there is a lot of reports suggesting that Al Hilal want to make Salah the replacement for Neymar. They want to make him the highest paid footballer over there. He would be an absolute god over there. And if Trent was to go to Real Madrid and Salah was to go to Saudi Arabia, my goodness, Liverpool would be a very different outfit, not just on that left-hand side, but as a team. Right-hand side, I should say, but also as a team. Look, I don't think that it's a huge, huge worry for Liverpool because I do think that Van Dijk will stay. I do think that Salah will stay. It's all on Trent. But if he gets the right money and Salah wins something with Liverpool, let's say they win the league or the Champions League, does Salah then think, I've done everything here, I need a new challenge, I need to go and retire as a god over in Saudi Arabia? Does Trent say, yep, Real Madrid are coming knocking at the age of 26, I'm going over there? And does Van Dijk think, well, maybe I need a new challenge then if these two are going? Liverpool, it could really go both ways. I think they could either end up keeping all three or losing all three, and certainly two of them I think are looking favourites to leave at the moment. So I don't know what your thoughts are, Liverpool fans. Maybe you think you're going to win the league and keep everybody. Um, maybe that's what it is, but I really don't think that looks likely at the moment of keeping all three. So we'll see. João Felix is the next person we're going to be talking about. AC Milan have contacted Chelsea about signing the 25-year-old. Look, I can't believe we're talking about the João Felix of Portugal, who was absolutely lighting up the place at Benfica, who looked like he was going to be one of the most expensive signings in the world. Went to Atletico Madrid at 105 million, I believe it was, ages ago. And I thought to myself, oh, this guy's going to be incredible. And he's never really hit the heights, has he? And he's still only 25. I can't believe that, to be honest. He doesn't seem to be a favourite for starting for Chelsea, even though Chelsea need a striker. He doesn't seem to be able to get himself a run of games. He doesn't seem to be able to get himself regularly on the score sheet. And I think they've got a few players like that, Chelsea. Jackson, he's hit and miss up top. You've got João Felix, who can't get a run of games. Christopher Nkunku isn't really that number 9 that Chelsea want. And they're looking at their squad again, thinking maybe we need to look at trying to get rid of a few players. And that's what we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes, because Ben Chilwell is the next guy who is being linked with a move away. Apparently, Vega is also being rumoured with a move away. He's only 21, so maybe a loan would be a better option for him. I thought he was quite impressive when I saw him glimpses. But 28-year-old England defender Ben Chilwell is being rumoured to leave, and Juventus are apparently interested. Now, I will say that I did see that Arsenal were looking at him. I do not think that's true. We do not need another injury-prone, old-school left-back that does not fit the system of Mikel Arteta. That is absolute waffle. There's no way we're getting him. But I'm surprised that a club of the size of Juventus are interested and after him. Look, he was very good when he come through the youth system at Leicester. I thought he was a very good player, but let's just be honest. He's not the level. He really is not the level. Unfortunately, this is a player that just needs to get out of Chelsea. He's not wanted by the club. The manager doesn't see him in his plans. So maybe he's got to try and find a move overseas, and maybe Juventus is the team for him. I don't think Chelsea particularly treated some of their players well, but any Chelsea players that are up for grabs, Arsenal will probably be over. So we'll see what happens. Somebody else who's at Chelsea and been called back from Chelsea is, of course, Trevor Chalobah. Now, what is hilarious is they've called him back and then told people what they want. So Chelsea apparently want 40 million for Trevor Chalobah. I mean, that is absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? 40 million pounds. My goodness. Ben White was 50. Mark Guehi's going to be 60. There is no way Chalobah is anywhere near 40 million pounds. 25 years old. They've recalled him from his loan spell at Crystal Palace, Chelsea. Palace actually quite liked him. I believe there was suggestions that they were after keeping him. One of their starting centre halves. He was fantastic for them. But if I'm honest, in my opinion, Mark Guehi and Lacroix look better than him anyway. So I think Palace will be okay as long as they keep those two fit. But yeah, Trevor Chalobah back at Chelsea. Not a player that I think many will be after, if I'm honest. I don't look at him and go, wow. I certainly wouldn't take him. But at the moment, he'd probably get into our squad. That's what's mad. But he ain't paying £40 million for him. That's for sure. That is for sure. Let's move to this guy, because this guy's got to be the biggest flop of the century, hasn't he? I mean, it was an unbelievable amount of money. He's 24 years old. He was brilliant at Ajax, according to Ten Hag. They bought him, I believe, Manchester United for around about 70 million, which was rising to above 80. And apparently he's played his last game for Manchester United. There's a lot from Romano saying that there's a verbal agreement reached on a loan move to Real Betis. Look, I don't rate him. I never have rated him. I think it's one of the worst signings Man United have made, and they made some absolute clangers. This one has never worked. Never, ever worked for me. And I just don't understand why Manchester United bought him in. And now they can't get rid of him. They've got to loan him out. I mean, imagine buying someone for that much money and you're stuck with him. We did very similar with Pepe, if you remember, who I actually think is levels above Anthony. But yeah, that was a problem for us. We had some issues with that. It looks like Man United have got the same problems with Anthony. But let's talk about this guy, Jamie Gittens, because Dortmund are suggesting that they could be up for discussions around his future. Manchester United and Chelsea are going to be competing for the signing of Jamie Gittens. He's 20 this summer. That's come from Florian Plettenberg. Now, I don't know much about him. All I do know is that he can play across the front three. I believe he's a wide forward. And I think as an Englishman coming from Dortmund, you've got Bellingham links, you've got Sancho links. They always seem to do quite well over there. But none of them have come over to the Premier League and lit it up. Jadon Sancho still trying with both Man United and Chelsea. Obviously, Bellingham didn't get a chance in the Premier League, but he's lighting it up over at Real Madrid. But Jamie Gittens is a player that a lot of people are looking at. Former City, someone's saying. I didn't realise that. I did not realise that he was former Manchester City player. They've got everyone, haven't they? Look at the players they've had. Cole Palmer, you talk about Gittens, got Lavia, got Morgan Rogers, Douglas Luiz, spoken about Liam Delap before, up top, Pedro Porro, the young centre-half at Southampton who's just been called up to England, Harwood Bellis, he was there. It's quite incredible, really, the squad that Manchester City had. And what's even hilarious is they got rid of them all, and now they need them all back because they should have been building their squad from their academy, in my opinion. But there we go. Let's see what happens. Let's take a look at the next rumour, which is Alphonso Davies. Apparently, Real Madrid are giving up on signing the left back. He's near an agreement to extend his contract at Bayern Munich. He's only 24 years old. For me, he's got to be one of the best left backs in the world, if not the best. And Real Madrid wanted to sign him on a free. And it seems now that they can't because he wants to stay at Bayern Munich. And I just think when you look at that, that for me is a really interesting move. When Real Madrid come knocking, it's a different knock, but he's quite happy at Bayern Munich and he's quite happy staying there. Now, to be fair, they do win stuff at Bayern Munich. You win unless you're Harry Kane, which I think he's going to finally get a trophy this year. You are going to be guaranteed pretty much to win the Bundesliga unless it's a shock. Champions League can always get a good run in. You're probably favourites to win the German Cup every year. So he's going to win trophies there. But surely when you win the amount of trophies that he's won already at Bayern Munich, you'd look at that and think, yeah, Real Madrid's a different knock. I really thought Alphonso Davies was going to be the guy that they wanted at left back. And I truly believe that after Courtois, they're building a back four that I thought was going to be around similarities to Trent Alexander-Arnold, William Saliba, Alphonso Davies, and potentially Gabriel, who they were linked with. So I think they've looked at Arsenal and they want to take Gabriel out of Arsenal and Saliba and that partnership and put it into Real Madrid with Trent and Alphonso Davies. You couldn't get much better than that, could you? You know, if you were to pick a world 11, you ain't far off. Crazy. But there's no rumours of Saliba or Gabriel. So hopefully, hopefully we won't get that. So there we go. Let's see what's happening in the next rumour. The next rumour we've got is Lloyd Kelly at Newcastle, who hasn't played as much as I thought. I think Dan Burn has been very good this season. Also, Fabian Schär is a very underrated centre-half. Sven Botman's back now. Lloyd Kelly was a good centre-half to bring in as a squad player, but it looks like Juventus are interested in him now. He's 26, and it's just 7 months after he arrived from Bournemouth on a free transfer. And now all of a sudden, Damarcio in Italy suggesting Juventus want to bring him in. Now, he's a player that I thought could have had quite a good season at Newcastle, but he hasn't quite got the opportunity, if I'm honest, to get first-team football. And as I mentioned, Sven Botman coming back, I don't think he's actually going to have much of a chance now, if I'm honest, Lloyd Kelly. He's a player that I think is fair enough for Newcastle. I think he can come in and do a good job, and I think he did well at Bournemouth. But I thought it was a bit of a strange signing. I never looked at him and thought, wow, you're not a centre-half that I look at in the kind of category of a Branthwaite or a Mark Guehi. I think he's just a good player. I don't think he takes anyone to a new level, personally. So yeah, that could be interesting. Let's move to Arsenal when we come to a close with Arsenal. It keeps happening. Benjamin Sesko is being linked again with Arsenal, and it looks as if he is the guy that Arsenal have as their number one target, but for the summer. And it doesn't look like it's going to be for January. But there are reports overnight that Arsenal are weighing up a £70 million move for the Leipzig striker, Benjamin Sesko, this window in January. They are also open to negotiating a loan deal, but they want it to be with an option to buy, and Leipzig are suggesting that they want an obligation to buy. Now, would you want to spend £70 million on Sesko, or would there actually be a chance to go and get someone else? Now, I've said this quite clearly for a while now to a lot of Arsenal fans. I don't hate Benjamin Sesko, but I'm not in love with the signing. I don't get excited by it. I think he's got great potential. From what I hear, he's got a little bit of everything to his game. He's 20 to 21 years old, so he's young, but he's raw. He's not ready now, I don't think. His stats don't look much better than Kai Havertz up top. And also, that's in the German league, by the way. So I look at what's happening right now in terms of other links. Would Osimhen be better? Would Victor Gyökeres be better? Is there someone in the Premier League that can come in and do better? Is there Dusan Vlahovic available that could do better? A lot of people want Sesko and a lot of people talk about it, but I know Mikel Arteta seems favourites to get this guy ahead of the others, but would the others be better? Are they more ready-made? Would they be better to actually go and get someone who's actually firing in their league right now? Because Openda's actually outscoring Sesko. You look at what Gyökeres numbers are. You look at Victor Osimhen's numbers. Everybody wants Isak because of his numbers and how good he is. And I think that one's more unrealistic. But when you look at who around in Europe and you look at in the Premier League, there's forwards that are scoring goals, even from the wide areas. Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. Would £70 million go better on one of those players who's Premier League proven that's ready to hit the ground running? I just think with Sesko, you're paying a lot of money for his potential again, and Arsenal want to win now. I don't want someone who's ready at 26. I want someone who's ready now, who is 26. Let's say an Osimhen or a Gyökeres. So that's where I'm at, and I think with Sesko right now, it's a player that Arteta clearly wants. But I don't know why, if we're that interested in him, we don't just go and get him now. You know, I know that he wanted to stay for a season. I guess that's some form of gentleman's agreement that Osimhen had where you go, yeah, I'll give you another year and then I'm off in the summer. So maybe a summer deal is more likely for Arsenal. But I look at it and I think, yeah, is Sesko the one that we really want? And if so, and if it is, that's fine. Go and get him. But go and get him now. Don't wait until the summer. I'm not interested in Zubimendi in the summer and Nico Williams in the summer and Sesko in the summer. That'd be great in the summer when we get there. We're not there yet. Yeah, we're not there yet. We're here. We're right here, right now, and we're talking about January. That's what I will say. Let's talk about Zubimendi, because there are suggestions, believe it or not, that Arsenal are interested in Zubimendi in the summer. However, the actual deal, by the way, that we are potentially offering is not the release clause. It is, in fact, £25 million. And this has come, by the way, from a source in Spain. So I don't know how true this is. But overnight, it is suggested that he's got a £50 million release clause. We're not interested in releasing that. Apparently, what we're interested in doing, according to this report in Spain, is we're offering £25 million, which is half of his release clause. But we're going to also offer Jacob Kivior and Takahiro Tomiyasu. It's a £50 million release clause for Zubimendi. Yeah, cool. We don't want to do that. We want to give you 25 million. We want to give you one of our dead centre halves who's not playing and one of our injury prone fullbacks. Oh, that has to be waffle, right? Surely that has to be waffle. There's no way that we are trying to chuck in two dead weight players. We're trying to throw them away. We've signed these two players for £20 million, and I think it was around 18 or 16 for Tomiyasu. So that's nearly 40 million euros that we've spent on these two, and we're trying to chuck them in for a deal for Zubimendi now. What an embarrassing deal if that's true. My goodness. Don't believe everything you read, people, because that has to be absolute waffle. There's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Listen, there's over 600 people in here. We've only got 125 likes. Hit the like and subscribe button, people. Cross your live chat. Like, subscribe, coming back into the live chat. Takes 2 seconds and it means a lot for the channel. So please make sure you do that right now. Big up to all of you. Whilst we're here, we'll plug this again for Friday. If none of you are aware at the moment, Friday is live event night at the Hippodrome Casino, and I would love to see you all there. Scan the QR code at the top left or click the link in the description. It will take you straight to the shortcut link to sign up. Ticket only. We've got this panel, D, Lawless, me, Judges, Deji Spurs and Don. Make sure that you are there. It is going to be a blast. Prizes to be won, meet and greet, get to have a chat with us all over a drink. Question and answer panel. Let's do it, people. This Friday coming at the Hippodrome Casino. So get your tickets. Come on, people. Let's take a look now. Where are we? Computer slow. Wi-Fi's going mad. There we go. We're back. Okay, so that's Zubimendi. Look, I've got to be real. I think he's a good signing. I think if it happens in the summer, it's a good signing. But I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in right now. Yeah, I'm interested in right now what we're doing. And at the moment, it doesn't look like much is happening. So let's talk about other rumours, shall we? Because there is suggestions that Miles Lewis-Skelly is being offered a new contract at Arsenal. And do you know what? Fair play to him. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. I think he's been one of our better players in the last few months. I've been really impressed with him. We're preparing a new contract proposal for him. He's impressed in recent games, and according to the Independent, Arteta is happy to give him a long-term deal. Now, I don't know what he's on at the moment. I imagine he's on no more than about 30 grand a week. But we need to be upping that to a fair price for him, lad, because he's been absolutely outstanding. And if I'm honest with you, I see a future for him at left 8. I really do. I see a future for him at left 8. I think the way that he takes the ball and drives forward with his left foot, I think he looks so comfortable. His passing ability is good. He's got unbelievable amounts of strength. He can definitely play in the midfield. And I understand why he's playing at left back at the moment. I think he's done really well to actually get ahead of the likes of Kieran Tierney and Calafiori. He's definitely shown signs that he can be comfortable and competent left back. But I do think his future lies in midfield. I think he's better than Marino on the ball in terms of his agility and his drive forward. He looks quicker, looks more flair, looks more tenacious, looks more passionate. I think he can drive forward on the ball. I think he's as strong as Marino, if I'm honest. I've been so impressed with his strength as a young lad. At 18, what is he going to be like when he gets to the ages of the early 20s? I think he's going to be a phenomenal talent, Miles Lewis-Skelly. So it's one that we need to look at for sure. I'm a big fan, and I have been a big fan for a while, if I'm honest with you. I just think he's a top player. And he's one that I'm a big believer in. I truly do believe he's a top talent, and it's one that I think him and Ethan have been two of the positive lights, and two lights that I think we need to be looking at, sort of getting tied down to a long-term deal. They've been phenomenal. Before we come to a bit of a close on some other news when it comes to Arsenal, let's talk about some super chats. Suj, let's not forget at the meet and greet, the one and only Donna will be there. Yes, Mum will be there. This is your chance to meet the person who runs the chat. So yes, we've got a couple of mods, and obviously my mum is one of the moderators here, and she will be there at the Hippodrome Casino. So please come and say hello to us all. James, thanks for letting me needle Lawless the bald fraud yesterday. I hope the window ends well for you lot. Much love, one of the best footy channels going. Listen, James, thank you so much for the super chats, man. It's always good to cook Lawless, that's for sure. I know you're an Everton fan as well. Moyes is back, and hopefully the Toffees can stay up into their new season at Goodison Park. Obviously, massive friend, and do still miss Super Kevin Campbell, and he is a lover of Everton, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them since then. So big up to you, James. I hope you are well, mate. Thanks for the super chat. We've got a new member and a super sticker. So please do say thank you to Get That Stinking Fraud Arteta Out of My Club. You're not a fan, are you, mate? You're not a fan. Thanks for the sticker, mate. I really do appreciate it, though, bruv. Thank you so much. Mark, good morning to you. He says, too little, too late. Kroenke's out. Yeah, look, I don't think there's anyone disagreeing at the moment in time. They've obviously lost to the Rams. The Rams have lost. What are they going to do now? Are they going to take some pride in Arsenal in the next couple of weeks? I hope so. Sush says, I'll say I prefer Jonathan David over Sesko. The only reason we offer 2 defenders for Zubimendi is because Arteta can sign more defenders instead of a number 9. It does seem mad that we're going to need more defenders in the summer. I don't know how many defenders we've signed, but my goodness, that has been a hell of a lot. Jonathan David's a player that I actually think is fair striker. I think he's scoring goals for Lille, but I don't think he takes us to that next level. But I have to be honest, I'm not sure that Sesko does either. So we have to be realistic about it. But big up to you, Suj. I hope you're well, mate. And thanks for the super chats. I know that you'd be there Friday if you could be, and you didn't live the other side of the world. So big up to you, mate. Make sure you hit the likes, people. We've not hit 200 likes yet. Make sure we hit the like and subscribe button. Big up to every single one of you. Let's talk next about the next rumour, which, of course, is Victor Osimhen. Now, I would like Victor Osimhen if we cannot get my number 1, which is Victor Gyökeres. But apparently, we're exploring a move for Victor Osimhen, which is apparently from Sports Pizzo. I don't know how true this is. If I'm honest, I think it sounds like an easy deal to get done. A lot of people are suggesting Mikel Arteta will not like a player of that ego. I don't think there's a lot of people that trust Mikel Arteta with big characters, and Victor Osimhen is certainly one of those. I think he's the right profile. I think he's the right age. He's definitely on fire. He's been on bang on form for Galatasaray. Won Napoli the league 2 years ago, was their top scorer, and knows where the goal is. Now, a lot of people say, especially those that are Nigerian and my friends, say that he's quite wasteful in front of goal, but also he's a player that does score. And if you have a killer in front of goal, then you're going to get enough chances at Arsenal with the likes of Odegaard and Saka when they're fit, threading you through. I think we need someone to kill him off. And at the moment, it isn't Havertz or Jesus. It isn't Trossard or Martinelli. It certainly isn't Raheem Sterling. So what we're going to do, we've got to get somebody, haven't we? We've got to look at getting 2 players in across the next 2 windows to fill 2 positions. The number 9 and the left winger, in my opinion, is what I think he wants. And I think, unfortunately, the names that you're throwing at me are not the names that Arteta wants. I think he wants Benjamin Sesko and Nico Williams in the summer. And I think they're the 2 that we'll do all that we can to get. So it could be interesting to watch this space. The other player, of course, that's been linked with us over this transfer window is Cunha. Cunha is a player that I actually do like and Premier League proven. He's a player that I think a lot of Arsenal fans have said that they'll be interested in getting. I actually am a fan. But it's a crucial day for we are apparently looking to bid for Sesko in, as we mentioned earlier. But Cunha is also on that list. If Leipzig choose not to accept the opening bid of around £65 million, then Arsenal may look to go for Cunha. Now, Cunha's apparently signing a new deal with Wolves, but it's not been agreed yet. There are a lot of talks suggesting that it's stalling and that they do want to keep him and he's quite happy to sign, but it's going to have to be for a serious amount of money. And I think if Arsenal were looking at Cunha, then I think that we could get him this January transfer window. And do you know what? There's Premier League players I think that we can get this January transfer window. I don't know why we are looking so confused. If you want to go overseas and try and get Williams or Lookman, you could have tried to get Marmoush. Fair, go and do it. If you want to go and get a striker and it is a Jonathan David or a Vlahovic and it isn't a Gyökeres or a Sesko or an Osimhen, then go and do it. They're all available. If you do want to look closer to the Premier League and you want to try Mohamed Kudus, or maybe you want to go and try Matoma, who was brilliant yesterday, or maybe you want to go and buy a Brian Mbeumo or a Cunha or a Semenyo, they would all be available. I don't know why we're worried about this. João Pedro at Brighton. All these players that are at clubs that we are looking at thinking they're all trying to get into the top half at the moment. Go and take their players because we're Arsenal, right? That's what we should be doing. But we're not. So Cunha, watch this space. I expect him to stay at Wolves now and sign a new deal, but Arsenal are still sniffing around him. So let's see what happens there. And of course, there are rumours still circling that Arsenal are interested in Victor Gyökeres. And I've got to be honest with you, it's the number 1 target for me. A few hours ago, it was suggested that Arteta has been given the go-ahead for a sensational move for the Sporting Lisbon star Victor Gyökeres, but it has come from fairly unreliable sources, in my opinion. I won't share what those unreliable sources are because it wouldn't be fair to out them, but I would suggest that if this happens, it would be a phenomenal end to a poor January transfer window. Victor Gyökeres is number 1 for me, and he has been since the start. If you look at the stats, it has to be him. He's firing. He's absolutely firing. And he has been for 3 seasons now. When you look at what he's done at Coventry, look at what he did last season at Sporting Lisbon, look at what he's doing this season at Sporting Lisbon. We have to go and get him, man. Now, there's a lot of rumours that Man United want him. Fine. Man United want him. They're in a mess. They're sat down in 13th or 14th in the league. Yeah, they've got their old manager, but so what? It doesn't mean he's got his heart set on playing for Manchester United. He's not a Man United fan. Arsenal need to go and get this deal done, man. Real talk. This would take us across what I think would be having a chance or slim chance of winning something this year to being pretty much doing all we can to go and win a trophy. Victor Gyökeres firing at Arsenal right now is exactly what the team needs. You put him in the Havertz position, he's not fluffing his lines. He's not. I honestly believe this would be an unbelievably good signing. He's not Champions League tied because they got rid of that rule now. Yeah, so he can come and play in our Champions League games. He's not cup tied for anything domestically either because he's come from Portugal. He's got England experience and experience in England at a championship level, which is very physically demanding and competitive. People laughed when he was scoring goals at Coventry. I didn't. When people do well in the championship, I don't laugh anymore. Because Michael Olise is playing for Bayern Munich. You've got Eze, Roman Esse has just come from Millwall, Adam Wharton. Palace have had some absolute bangers. Jack Grealish was playing in the Championship. Yeah. We've seen players come up and do well. Semenyo come from the Championship. Bristol City. So, Gyökeres is the guy I want. I'm sorry. You know, people have said to me, who's the guy you want? Yes, it's Isak. That's the dream. That's not happening, people, yeah? Get that out of your head. It's going to be not happening. Isak is staying at Newcastle. They're probably going to get Champions League football and go for it. I'm going to say this now. Gyökeres he's number one for me. Absolutely number one. There's no way that I want anybody over him. I'm not paying when you can get potentially, if you got 70 million for a striker and you go and put that on Sesko, I'll be peeved. Yeah, because we can put that towards Gyökeres or Osimhen, and they're ready now for this window, not in the next 5 years. Always looking at the future. You know, when Patrice Evra said about Arsenal, it's Netflix FC, he was bang on. It's always about next season. And then the fans get really annoyed. Oh my God, he's called us Netflix FC. And you'll say to that Sam fan, oh, what do you think about the league? Well, there's always next year. Sorry? You just said you were out. If it was out of order for calling us Netflix FC, and you've already said there's always next year. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's mad. It really is. Big J says, told you a couple of days ago, Dan, we aren't signing anyone. We don't have any money, apparently. The source is extremely close. Look, I don't know how we haven't got any money. When we spent it on Declan Rice, I didn't think that was going to ruin our next 3 transfer windows. The summer was a shambles. To only spend 70 million euros when you bought more money, got more money in than you signed. The Smith Rowe money and the Eddie money has not been spent yet. I don't think we're going to be getting rid of many players this month. There are rumours and reports that some of the following players want out. Tierney, Zinchenko, Kivior. Rumours of Tomiyasu we saw today. Don't know who would want him at the moment when he's that injury prone. Jorginho and Partey up for grabs in the summer because their contract's up for grabs. Marquinhos not wanted at the club. Fabio Vieira not wanted at the club. We've got Lokonga. We've got Tavares. They're all guys that I think will probably end up leaving. Sterling won't be renewed. Trossard has rejected his contract. That's a lot of players. That's a rebuild, That's not let's sell a couple and buy a couple. That's about 12, 13 players that we need to get out off the books. So this process and phase and this rebuild, we're now rebuilding the rebuild because we messed the rebuild up. That's the next phase. Rebuild the rebuild. It hasn't been very good. It's, in my opinion, how not to run a process is what I would say. Oh, dear me. Spend close to £700 million and have 5 players out of it that you really rate. Because that's what it is. There's only really 5 signings I can think of that I'm like, wow. Odegaard, Declan Rice, Jurriën Timber. I'll give Ben White and Gabriel. They're really only the 5. You could throw in Raya and you can throw in Partey. For Raya, it's still early because he's only had his start of his second season. Partey's been injury prone, so some people won't admit that that's been a good signing. Everybody else, other than those 5 or 6, it's been quite bad, hasn't it? 31 players and only 6 I can pick that have been top next level. Because people will shout at me, Saka and Saliba, they weren't signed. Martinelli, he weren't signed by Tierney. They're the players that weren't signed by Arteta, and they're the ones that we actually like, or they actually rate all of them. I rate Tierney, I rate Saliba, I rate Saka, I rate Martinelli. The problem I've got is Tierney doesn't want to be played by Arteta. Arteta seems to be doing his best to ruin Martinelli because he had an unbelievable prospect coming through. And he's played Saliba and Saka so far into the ground that both of them are now out the team, injured. So it's just not good. It just is not good at all. It really isn't. Cal's Corner says, I don't want to entertain a signing this window. Too much heartbreak when we don't get anyone. 8 out of 10 summer transfer window, by the way. When is enough enough? I can't believe people give that an 8 out of 10. I really can't believe people give that an 8 out of 10. I could not believe what I was seeing. It's absolutely madness to think that was an 8 out of 10. Who the hell is giving that an 8 out of 10? Seriously. Put in the chat what you thought the rating was for the summer window, because I gave it a 4 and everyone said it was out of order. How the hell is that an 8 out of 10? How's it even a 7 or a 6? It's a 3 or a 4. 0, Andrew said. Yeah, we got 3s. We got 3s from Darren. 4 from Rumble. 3. That's what I mean. It's a 3 or a 4, that summer transfer window. 1, 2, 4. 4 as well. 0, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2.5. I thought it was a 6, but it's a 3, says Cal's Corner. 2, 2, 2, 1. Everyone's woke up, see? I mean, I'm not saying you called it a 7, by the way. You probably all gave it a 2 and a 1 and a 4 when it was shut in the summer like I did. But let's just be real. How many people were losing their minds with me on that stream? I remember on that stream, I called everyone on. It was a call-in show, and I said, let's just talk about this dire window. Oh, it's very negative. We've got Sterling. Yeah, Sterling's not good enough. That's why Chelsea want out of him. They're howling at us. They're laughing at us again. Oh, this is brilliant, Arsenal. Let's give him Jorginho. Let's give him Havertz. Let's give him Sterling. Let's give him Willian. Let's give him David Luiz. Let's give him Lassana Diarra. Let's give him Peter Cech. Let's give him Yossi Benayoun. Oh, this is brilliant. They are the dumping ground. Let's dump all our crap over at Arsenal. Whereas with us, you want Ashley Cole? Oh, dear me. And then they go and get Olivier Giroud and they go and win the Europa League, the FA Cup. And what else was it he won? Oh, the Champions League. Crazy. Absolutely mad. Anyway, madness. It really is. This transfer window was a shambles. And do you know what? As much as I say it's a shambles, guess what? We had a better summer window than a January transfer window. Because at the moment it's a -4. It's an absolute disgrace that it's the 20th of January and we've signed nobody. But this isn't an Arteta thing like people are going to blame. This is an Arsenal thing, mate. We were doing this under Wenger. Do you remember we signed Arshavin on the 31st of January? It wasn't even the 1st or 2nd of Feb we actually announced it. We got the papers in the right time and then we actually didn't announce it until this window was shut. In January, the only two signings that ever excited me were Aubameyang and Arshavin. And Jose Antonio Reyes. Bless him. They're the only three that I can remember we've signed that I thought, oh, yeah, that's decent signings, that. Reyes was one of the best players coming out of Spain at the time. Yeah. R.I.P. to Jose Antonio Reyes, by the way. You got Aubameyang, who was one of the best in Germany, banging in goals. And Arshavin, who was really excited when we signed him from Zenit St. Petersburg about 27, 28, who was ready. And all three of those were ready to come into the side. Reyes was an invincible. Arshavin coming in was one of our best players, and Aubameyang scored all our goals. The only other signing I'd say fair play to is Trossard, but we didn't even want him. We wanted Mudryk and we got Trossard. We wanted Caicedo, we got Jorginho. And we bought Kivior, everyone said, who's that? And now we want to get rid of him because he's not good enough. Crazy. Cal's Corner says injury-prone left-backs. Max, squad level midfielder, useless goalkeeper that does not even count, and Raheem the Dream, who's worse than Reece Nelson. Yeah, facts. Facts. Absolute facts. An injury-prone left-back for 40 million euros, who I think will come good, but looks like a centre-half. Positioning is awful as a left-back. Max squad-level midfielder Marino. Yeah, basic replacement for El Neni. No upgrade on El Neni whatsoever. A useless goalkeeper that does not even count. Yeah, a cup goalkeeper that doesn't play the cups because he's cup-tied. Hasn't kicked a ball and won't for Arsenal. And Raheem the Dream, who's worse than Reece Nelson. I think he probably is. I know Reece is out at the moment, but from what I'm being told at Fulham, they really like him. They quite like to sign him. Crazy. Crazy. But it doesn't matter. We'll have new merch out soon. There'll be a new top out for us all to buy. They'll expect us to buy. So, but they won't be expected to buy. Gavin says PR wants the summer signing hype again. It's a cycle. Look, this is the hilarious thing, is that it's the January transfer window and the links are that we're getting Zubimendi in the summer. That's how this club works. That is how this club works. We're getting Zubimendi in the summer, people. Be excited. Come on, man. What about this window? What about this season? And we're throwing in now Tomiyasu and Kivior is the rumour. It's a 50 million release clause. Yeah, release the clause, activate it. They're going to do nothing about it. No, we don't want to do that. We'll give you 25 because we've agreed terms with him. He wants to come. We'll give you 25 and you can have two of our crap players, Kivior and Tomiyasu. There you go. And I don't think Tomiyasu's crap, by the way. I just think he's an injury-prone player. Kivior, he don't look good enough. So next season, when Zinchenko and Tierney go, we'll need another left-back. When Kivior goes, we'll need another left-sided centre-back. And when Tomiyasu goes, I don't think he will because I think he'll be stuck with him because no one will want him because he's injury-prone. We'll need another fullback. We can't get rid of 4 of our 8 defenders. We've got to go and get another 2 or 3 defenders in. Unless you put Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly as your left-backs and Timber can play there. Timber and Ben White as your right-backs. Saliba and Gabriel. And you've got to go and get 2 centre-halves. Or you've got to make Calafiori your centre-half cover and go and buy another left-back and another right-sided centre-back. Then you go into midfield and you get Zubimendi, but you still need an 8 because you've got Rice and Zubimendi and then Marino. You need another 8. Then you've got the 10 position. Do we need another attacker and midfielder after Odegaard, or is Ethan Nwaneri ready? I think they'll believe Ethan's ready. Then what do we do on the right-hand side after Saka? because Jesus is long-term out and Sterling's going back to Chelsea. So we need another winger. Then we look on the left-hand side and we want Nico Williams. Is Trossard going? Martinelli, what's he doing? And then up top, we need a striker, but that only leaves a striker and Havertz. And if Trossard goes, we haven't got a third choice and Jesus injured. It's just a mess. That means we're pretty much looking at, we've got our 11 and now we need another 11. It's crazy. To think we need that many players still 5 years into the project. He hasn't completed one department yet. One department. Just want to complete one department. Oh, he's completed the defence. No, he hasn't. Tierney wants out. Zinchenko wants out. Tomiyasu's injury prone. Kivior wants out. That's not completing a department. They all want it. Half of them want to leave. It really is very, very frustrating, isn't it? You lose your head with it. You really do. Look, we've got Zagreb on Wednesday night and Arsenal need to win. Arsenal win that game, we're pretty much through in the last 8. I think we've got a potentially, I'd like to see us beat Girona, but we've got to potentially draw. We might go through then. I think we've got to win both, if I'm honest, because it means that goal difference don't matter. And I think goal difference will matter this top 8. I don't want to be winning our game, drawing it and coming 9th and having to play in another 2 games. That is not what I want to see happen. I just do not want to see that happen. So Arsenal have got to beat Zagreb and beat Girona away with the team they've got. They should do that. Both those teams are not good enough. So that's what needs to happen. And then we go on to Wolves away, which will be tough because they're fighting for their lives. Big up to the last super chat of the morning. Suj, by the way, new merch has officially dropped to celebrate Chinese New Year. Wow, this is getting beyond the joke. Yes, it is. But everyone will buy it. Will be expected to buy it, Suj. And the Cronkies will not be expected to put their hands in their pocket because they want to make money. Stan Kroenke said it himself. I haven't bought Arsenal to buy trophies. I'll leave that with you, Kroenke lovers. Listen, we're out of here, people. Big up to every single one of you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to be out of here. I'll be back. I'm dropping a video at 1 p.m. We'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. for Race for Europe. So big up to everybody there. Make sure you do me a favor. Click on the like and the subscribe button. And please make sure that you are coming to the Hippodrome on Friday. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the description. And then make sure you're signing up. That's all I need you to do, people. Be great to see you there. It really would. And we have got an elite panel. Look at that panel. We've got D, we've got Lawless, we've got me, we've got Judges, we've got Deji, we've got Don. Unbelievable panel, unbelievable guests. So big up to all of you. Hopefully I'll see as many of you there as possible. Now, Sophie Nicolau will be there, obviously, as well as lead judges. So it'll be really good to meet and greet all of those guys. And there's going to be a Q&A opportunity for you guys to ask stuff as well. So please make sure that you do that. Please make sure that you are coming. All you've got to do is scan the QR code or click on the link in the description. So please make sure that you do that. As I say, dropping at 1 will be a pre-record. And then at 8 p.m. tonight, it will be This Is London. So please make sure that you are there for that one. I'm going to put you over to Footy Judge Mo, who's currently talking about all things transfers. So please make sure you stay tuned. Go and show him some love, people. Go and raid his chat. Make sure you go and say 12th man sent me, Dan Potts sent me. Make sure you do that. And yeah, we're out of here. We'll see you next time. Take it easy, people. Next time. Laters. Cronkies. Sign someone. See you soon.